I'm Betty Cruz, and I'm proud to celebrate Women's History Month in the city of Pittsburgh.
I'm celebrating Women's History Month today with Betty Cruz, Deputy Chief of Special Initiatives. Betty, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about what exactly the Special Initiatives Deputy Chief does for the city?
Sure. I manage a number of different initiatives for the mayor, and they range in focus areas. Everything from Live Well Pittsburgh, which is, we were the first city to sign on to Live Well Allegheny. We launched Live Well Pittsburgh April of 2014. And since then, we've really focused on connecting youth and families to resources like health enrollment, making sure all of our young people are enrolled in healthcare. We have great nonprofit partners throughout the city that help make that possible, offer free step-by-step help, like the Consumer Health Coalition. We work closely with them and other partners from Allies to Children, Enroll America, 211, to connect those families and youth to resources. And we also launched the Grub Up campaign, which is to expand our summer and after-school meals program. I also have the privilege of managing Welcoming Pittsburgh for the mayor, which is an immigrant and Latino integration strategy to make our city more welcoming to our growing population of immigrants and refugees and Latinos. And it's small, but it is growing. And as a result of our efforts there, we're wanting to build a more welcoming experience for all of our residents, many of whom may not fall under that category, but haven't felt always so welcome in our city. I also manage the mayor's Homefront Pittsburgh initiative, which is a veterans engagement strategy. And that one is a newer initiative. It launched September of last year. Again, really working closely with community partners who are already doing amazing work and being able to lift that up further. And I'm doing some homeless outreach work as well. So the special initiatives area touches a variety of things, and I'm really lucky to get to do this work.
And you're also very busy, I'd imagine.
A bit.
Yeah. Well, so why did you choose a career in government?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, because I'd have to say a career in government chose me. I went to GISPIA for grad school, the University of Pittsburgh Graduate School of Public and International Affairs, and I got my master's in public administration. But honestly, at that time, I wasn't sure that a career in government is what would come next. I majored in public and nonprofit management. Soon after I graduated, I went on to work at Kaboom, building playgrounds and advocating for play in DC. And I missed Pittsburgh, and as I made my way back, also at that point still in the nonprofit space, we invited the mayor to speak at our annual meeting. He was wonderful. He was then the newly elected mayor. And fast forward, as he was building his team, this opportunity presented itself. So
that's great. The city's lucky to have you.
I'm lucky to have had this opportunity and everything come together. It's been a tremendous ride. It's very much moved each and every day by the public service, the public servant nature of this work. So it means a lot to be able to do it.
Kind of shifting gears a little bit, many women have faced obstacles and inequality in the workplace throughout history. What does it mean to you to be a leader in the city of Pittsburgh?
It means that I'm as a woman in any level of responsibility. I don't know that I look at myself specifically as a female leader, but I suppose, I don't know, thank you. But I think in any level that you're in, whether you identify or don't as a leader, as a woman, you are hyper aware of barriers that men just don't deal with. When you're a man, I don't think, or I'll phrase it this way, when you're a woman and you're in certain meetings, there are times when people will look at you expecting you to be the note taker or expecting you to do certain still secretarial functions. And there is an awareness as a woman from the way you put yourself together to how you carry yourself at a meeting. It's something that is, I think, at least for me, I'm hyper aware of, that you're being judged at a different, higher, more complicated standard, and you have to work even harder. And even then, sometimes when you work harder, you still get the criticism for working too hard. So it's a daily reality. There's still a lot of work to be done, even whether it's women who find themselves in position of leadership or not. There are not enough women. There aren't many women at all who are elected officials. There aren't many women at all who are CEOs or serving on private sector boards and things of that nature. So there's still a long way to go, and the reason why is there's still all these barriers.
Well, have you had any female role models or mentors that have helped you along the way?
Absolutely. I've had both. I think it's important to have female and male mentors and people who can be your sounding board and who can guide you. But because of the unique barriers that women face, I also think it's important to have a female mentor. And I'll say also through the lens of a Latina, that's very important to me as well. And it's a reality, because not only are we dealing with the challenges and perceptions and stereotypes and barriers of being a woman, but then when you're a Latina, your culture comes into it. And there's things that distinguish Latina women, specifically I'm Cuban American, distinguish Cuban American or Cuban culture from other Latino cultures, from other cultures in general. And that also is something that you have to be more aware of. So I was fortunate while I was at Gispia, I was in this leadership portfolio program that's through their Johnson Institute for Responsible Leadership. And they matched you with a mentor. And my mentor at that time, and this was in 2010, was Lourdes Sanchez Ridge, who is our city solicitor. Neither of us knew that we would be in these roles today, would have even guessed it at all, but coincidentally, she's a fellow Cubana, and she was my mentor. She challenged me to think about things differently and to keep this very dialogue around women in leadership. She was a great sounding board, yeah, and continues to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So what advice would you give other women seeking careers in government or leadership?
I think that the most important thing is to put yourself out there, and that sounds so simple and so maybe cliche. Maybe it's because of all of the barriers, even the microaggressions or the more subtle, nuanced barriers that we have to face to the larger ones. We're much more, and this is a generalization, but I do feel that women tend to be much more methodical and want to, when they're going to take that leap to do something, whatever that something is, run for office or what have you, they want to have everything perfectly in place. They want to feel 100%. I don't feel like you always see that as often with our male counterparts. They're like, take the leap, I'll figure it out along the way. And I think having that being bold in that way and having that courage, and that's why the mentors are important, and that safety net, and those people who are gonna be there for you and help you think through it and give you that confidence to take the leap. But I think really just being bold, taking the risk, and not waiting till everything in your life is perfect to do it is one important piece of advice. I think the other thing that has been tremendous for me has been to have mentors, to have people that I even if I didn't know exactly where I was going professionally, I respected them for where they were professionally, and I could have conversations with them. Even if it's about life choices, personal choices, having children or not having children, how you are, navigating certain dynamics in a workplace. Having that mentor is important. And I want to restate also, one of my most challenging work experiences a couple of years back, a trusted voice for me was actually one of my male mentors. So you don't always have to look for that. Again, you don't have to be terribly specific and only doing the right thing at a precise time. Be open and take that risk.
That's excellent advice. Thank you so much for being here today, Betty.